Hi there. So excited to have the incomparable Dini Petty, media personality, amazing woman, entrepreneur, and she's here with us. She's here with us, with me, on the Ask Victoria channel, and she's here to tell us what it's like to go down a rabbit hole, you know, the rabbit holes of life, and come out the other side and actually be thriving. And I want, what's your rabbit hole? What's that about?
The rabbit hole is when you get blindsided in life. You don't see it coming. It happens to everyone, and there's various degrees of being blindsided. Because at the bottom of the rabbit hole is the tar pit, and if it's really bad, you can face plant and you can die down there, and a lot of people do.
Yeah.
There's only one decision you have to make when you face plant down there, and
What's
that is,
that?
do I want to live or don't I?
Yes.
And I recall a certain part of my life when I was down the rabbit hole where I didn't give a rat's bottom. I just didn't care if I went on. It was irrelevant. But
Wow.
I think in my life it happened because I had so much great fortune in my life, so much good luck in my career. And I believe that the fundamental law of the universe, one of them is that the universe is continually seeking balance. That's why you hear the word in every, how do I find balance? I want to balance. Because the universe is always seeking balance.
Right.
And to every action, there is an equal and opposite reaction. This is your hope when you get down the rabbit hole. So mine started after, you know, I flew pink helicopters. I had a tremendous television career. Everything went good. And then the universe went, well, you know, Dini, we're going to balance this out for you. And it started when my show was canceled unexpectedly, and you know, it was like, thanks for dropping by.
Yeah.
I ended a long-term relationship. People started dying. There were 12 of them of all ages, including my business partner.
Wow.
And then I ran into a health problem that took me almost 4 years to figure out and totally resolve. And I'm just spinning. And I remember.
And you're emotionally spinning? Is that what's happening? You're physically, and you're physically not well, or you're coming and you're emotionally spinning?
I was completely fioked.
Yeah.
And I didn't care anymore. I remember after death number 8, which was my dog, I'm standing out in the back porch and I'm screaming at the heavens. You had to take the dog?
Yeah.
Come on. I also realized at that point I hadn't cried. And
Wow.
if I don't cry, I'm going to blow up.
Yeah, yeah.
So I went and did one of those retreats, and on the second or third morning, this thing came out of I cried for 3 days, 3 nights at every meal. Sorry, I was just, and I felt better when it was over.
So you were grieving on a deep, deep level and really acknowledging your feelings and your emotions very, very honestly.
I was actually letting them go.
Yeah.
And I didn't work, literally did not work for 10 or 12 years. I couldn't.
Wow.
People are dying. My health got this crazy problem, which I resolved. But yeah, no, that was my rabbit hole.
So you're down this rabbit hole. You are confronting your mortality, your financial life, your physical life, your emotional life. Your friends are dying. You're at the end of a very strong rabbit hole journey. And yet it doesn't take you down. It doesn't kill you. What is it that brings you out?
You do not know how much you can take until you have to walk a mile in your own shoes. Sometimes when I speak, I say, if this is a giant sinkhole and we don't know it, and this whole thing goes down 300 feet, and we're down there for like 30 days, we got air and a bit of food, we don't know which of us is going to break first. It could be me. So you don't know how much you can take. I believe it's true that which doesn't kill you does make you stronger. I am now Superwoman. I can fly.
Well, you actually can. You did a pink helicopter.
That's right. I can fly a helicopter. But as the stuff went on and it got worse and worse, I know, and I have always believed that one of the other fundamental laws of the universe is that life is like a ring. That to every action there's an equal and opposite reaction.
Right.
And that mine was over a decade. And then it ended about, literally, it started to end 3 years ago when I moved, sold, and I came to Toronto, and things have been, so here's what I figure. If there's an equal and opposite reaction, and I had all that terrible times, because I'm 71, The last years of my life are going to be amazing. It's all a complete opposite
Because
reaction.
you've gone to that sort of hell place, it sounds like, and you're now reaping the lessons, the information that you got down that rabbit hole. Did it teach you something?
There's an equal and opposite reaction to everything in life goes. Yeah,
okay.
I mean,
And also, it sounds like you had a lot of emotional discipline. It sounds like. I mean, it sounds to me that you didn't just let yourself, feed the negativity and feed it and feed it and feed it.
I did for a while.
Okay.
I remember lying on that bed, and I was so depressed. I mean, for like weeks. And then I finally went, okay. I have a dear friend of mine, Barb Turnbull, who passed away, who was a quadriplegic and a big writer for the Toronto Star. And Barb said, the bottom line is, you either get out of bed or you don't.
There it is. It's a choice, is what I'm hearing.
One morning I got out of bed and went, okay, now what am I
You
going to do?
made a decision.
Yeah.
You made a decision.
Yeah.
That to me is what I'm hearing.
Yeah.
Is that you go down the rabbit hole, you go down the experience that every one of us goes through, because no one is exempt from that particular lesson of life. And then at some point you choose. You choose to make a decision to no longer let that take you down and further down and further down.
That's one way to say it. Yeah, I've decided I want to live. I want to get out of this rabbit hole. Oh my God, it's a long way out. So you start the climb and it's up 5 steps and down 20 and up and down and up and down.
But I imagine if you're looking up, you're going, I don't know that that's necessarily, you probably were like 1 foot in front of the other, 1 foot in front of the other,
and
right
then
here.
And then I'd face plant and slide back down. But I learned, here's what I learned is really, really valuable, because I help people getting out of the rabbit hole now.
Yes.
If your life falls apart, you want me.
Right.
And I have a dear friend of mine who's one of the blind-sided queen. Oh my God. I met her in hospital when I was having a small piece of surgery to finally fix my problem. And she had a tumor in her brain that was not cancerous. It was filled with liquid.
Okay.
And we became friends. Here's what happened. They drained it. And then a week later, she said, I can't go home. I'm dizzy. They said, it's back. They drained it again. Typical woman. They use the same scar. I look fine. I'm like, that's good, Donna. And the day after her second surgery, her husband of 20 years said, I know it's not a good time to tell you, but I won't be there when you get home.
Oh, no.
My friend Donna, the blind-sided queen, said to me once, I couldn't have done it without you. I wouldn't have made it. And this is where I learned that what you need, and it's so critical when you've decided, okay, I want to live, you get out of bed, you start to climb out. I call them a witness or a cheerleader. And I said to Donna, look, I got to tell you, I'm going to tell you now, when I met the two of you, you know what my first thought was? He's not as smart as she is. You're brilliant. You are a fabulous woman, and I'm going to be your cheerleader, and I believe in you, and you need someone who believes in you enough to just give you that encouragement to get out of the rabbit hole. God forbid if they ended up on your table, that would be a blessing for someone trying to get out of the rabbit hole. And I know that's people, I've met your clients who tell me she saved my life because I was down there.
Yeah. What I love what you're saying is that in order, one of the items or one of the tools of the toolbox to climb out of the rabbit hole is not only a decision, but also to surround yourself with a cheerleader or two to continually reinforce and fill your levels of confidence and energy and power. And that's what you are talking about. And you provided that for her. And it's one of the things that we, or whomever is going through a really tough time, that, don't isolate is what I'm hearing. Don't isolate. Reach out. Reach out, because there are people that want to help, whether it be professional people or friends.
And conversely, if you have a friend who's down the rabbit hole, I'm really good at mentoring women and men. But if they're down the rabbit hole, if I believe in them, I can't fake it.
I was going to say.
I got to believe in you. And if you have a friend who's down the rabbit hole and you believe in it, you get in there and say, you are fabulous. What would
make you not believe in a person who's down the rabbit hole? Someone who's constantly just choosing to stay there and whine and complain. What is it that you don't believe when they're down there and you're like, I'm not going to give my energy there?
I give my energy to people I know and that I like and I feel good about.
Right. Sometimes we get uncomfortable energetically with people, and we have sort of a gut feeling to kind of go in the other direction and possibly pay attention to that, and possibly maybe they're just really kind of toxic in their thinking, or they're really super negative or whatever it may be. Right. So it's not about draining. If you're the cheerleader, it's not about draining your energy.
No.
But it is about being part of the team of give someone a hand as they're coming out, but that person has to reach out and grab your hand. You can't go and save them. So I just want to say amazing stories, and I'm so glad that you were out of the rabbit hole, because what I really love about you today, listen, I've loved Dini Petty in the 90s. I was on her show, she interviewed me, and I adore this woman, but what I really am extremely in admiration of you is now, at this fine young age of 71, you have a new business. What's it called again?
We launched a Kickstarter campaign on my 71st birthday, which was January the 15th.
Yes.
And it's just stupid, crazy, wonderful, successful. I'm working with my son. That's what I mean. To every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction.
Well, you're putting the energy in there and it's coming back at you.
Yeah, and the universe likes to fill a vacuum. So if you're down there and your life is total garbage and you're suffering, know that cycles end, and know that if you hang in there and believe in yourself and work your way out of the rabbit hole and get a friend, the opposite will come.
And what's the product called?
It's Loop.
Right.
L with 3 U's, P.
Yeah.
Loop.com.
What's it for, though? What's it for?
It's a cat shit box. It's a litter box.
Excuse her language. I love it.
That's what it is.
It is wonderful.
It's brilliant.
It's a way to have, cat poop not dirty your hands, because you're taking the tray and you're not, and that's what I love about it.
It's a 3-tray system. That's why there's 3 U's in Loop, and it's a perpetual sifting system once it's set up, and it's crazy what's happening. I love the internet now.
Yeah, it's awesome. And the fact that you're doing this, what I'm hearing is one of the other tools. So we have a sense of getting a cheerleader. We have a sense of making a decision, but having faith. You have faith in life. You don't give up. You have a renewed sense of excitement and faith in life. And that, to me, is really one of the tools of bringing yourself out of a rabbit hole of life.
I'm not going to have a tombstone, but I probably should have a virtual one. And my son always laughs at me because I've said this for years.
Yeah.
I don't know how. I really don't know how. But somehow, it always seems to work out.
Right.
It may take a year, 3 years, 4 years, and you're like, how can you possibly say that? Look at all this garbage. And then somehow, it works its way out.
And trust and belief.
For me, I know that's true.
Yeah,
I
me
have
too.
Yeah.
For me as well.
Yeah.
On that note, we're going to
say goodbye.
Take a pause for a moment, or say goodbye. So long, and thanks again. Thank you so much.
Oh, my pleasure.
I'm so excited to have you here. You're beautiful.